All right. We've spent 4 days talking about solving our one-step equations. So here is our fourth. Okay, we spent three. Here's our fourth day on solving one-step equations. Now we've talked about solving addition equations, subtraction equations, multiplication equations, and so today we're going to talk about solving division equations. Okay? Now, the basic concept, hopefully you guys are starting to understand or at least remember, because I know you've seen it before. The basic idea here, okay? You solve an equation with the inverse operation. When you see multiplication, you divide. When you see division, you multiply. When you see addition, you subtract. When you see subtraction, you add. Okay? You do the opposite. So, division looks a lot like a fraction bar, okay? Because they're technically the same thing. So now, I solve the equation. I see x divided by 5. So I need to do the opposite to solve the equation. So what I do is on both sides of the equation, I multiply by 5. Multiply by 5 on both sides of the equation. Now, this part right here is difficult for some kids to wrap their heads around. So if we walk back to yesterday's stuff, if I have 5x equals something, let's say 30, okay? Different problem, don't look here. If I want to solve this, I divide by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1x. 1 times x is x. Okay? So that equals 1. This is the same setup I have here. The 5 are being divided to make 1. So the only thing left is the x. There's 1x left over. Okay? So you need to understand here that when I'm multiplying both sides by 5, that's to take care of the 5 in the denominator. I don't actually do this multiplication. I just am taking these two just like I take these two. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 5, take the division with this. So now 5 divided by 5 is 1x. 8 times 5 is 40. So there's my answer. Okay? Again, so I can walk back. The original question, what number divided by 5 equals 8? And the answer is 40. 40 divided by 5 equals 8. I'm finding the number. Number 2. What number divided by 4.2 equals negative 3? So again, I work backwards. Well, if I want to find out what number divided by 4.2, then I multiply by 4.2. Work backwards. So this tells me that the number is negative 12.6. Negative 12.6, if I divide by 4.2, equals negative 3. Number 3, again, instead of reading this as x divided by 3/4, it helps to think of it as what number divided by 3/4 equals 8. Well, then I know that I'm just working backwards. Some number divided by 3/4 is 8, so then I work backwards. Do the opposite. Well, just work backwards. Multiply by 3/4. X is, get out a calculator, multiply by 3/4, and it comes out to be 6. So again, you solve equations by working backwards, doing the inverse operation. Number 4. Focus on the variable side of the equation. The variable's on the right here. So what number divided by 7 equals 5? Well, I work backwards. Multiply by 7. Undo the division. When I undo the division, the only thing left is x. 7 times 5 is 35. So 35 divided by 7 equals 5. It works. Number 5. If you have a negative sign in front of your fraction bar, we just take that and just imagine it's down here with this number. It works a whole lot better. We can handle that as one thing. A negative out front is the same as a negative on the bottom, okay? So now if I have what number divided by negative 4 is negative 3, I do the opposite and I multiply by negative 4. So now here, negative times negative is positive, so I don't have to worry about that negative anymore because that's going to come out to be a positive answer. This comes out to be positive 12. So 12 divided by -4 is -3, and that makes sense. Okay. All right. One-step equations. Use the inverse operation to solve the equation.